soon to be heard around the universe is Mr. Mike Teevee. Hey, Mike, do you think we might shut that thing off?
No, are you crazy?
He won't answer till the station break.
Mike, the country wants to hear from you. The world is waiting, Mike.
Can't you shut up? I'm busy. Boy, what a great show.
I serve all his TV dinners right here. He's never even been to the table.
You love to watch TV, Mike?
You bet.
What about that golden ticket, Mike? That's what we all
Hold
came
it.
here.
I want to catch this.
You like the killings, huh?
What do you think life's all about?
Mike, would you tell us if...
Wait till I get a real one. Colt 45. Pop won't let me have one yet, will you, Pop?
Not till you're 12, son.
Yes, I see me. Hi.
Hi, Paris, Jeff in Las Vegas. How are you, buddy?
Good, you?
I am doing great. You don't remember me, but I remember you for obvious reasons. 10 years ago, I went to LA to meet you at the autograph show with the rest of the cast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
At the Hollywood show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I drove out there specifically to meet you guys, and it was so cool because I got my golden ticket here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And also my little Wonka case here. But when I got the professional photo done with you guys, I was one of the first people. And when I held this up, everybody in line wanted to hold it for their picture. So I stood there for an hour as they did it.
Sure. You're right. We meet a lot of people at those things, but I recognize your face.
You do? Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. It was
Sure.
a total thrill. Well, thank you for joining me today to talk about the 50th anniversary of Willy Wonka coming out on 4K DVD. That's just amazing. It's funny because I remember interviewing Mel Stewart when his book came out for Pure Imagination. And that was such a wealth of trivia, for Willy Wonka. And a lot of people don't realize the movie was a huge flop in 1971. It wasn't the beloved classic it's considered today.
That's true. I don't know if I'd say flop, but it probably made its money back just about. I think it was a $1 or $2 million budget. And, it did sort of okay. But considering what it eventually became, it definitely sort of came and went. And then several years later, they started showing it on TV once a year. And then the VHS came out and then the DVD and so forth. So obviously we had no idea then that 50 years later, I'd still be talking about it with people.
And, it was great trivia about the movie is that it was manufactured and financed by Quaker Oats because they had a new candy bar. And because always when I was a kid, I see the copyright, it would say, copyright Quaker Oats. I never understood that. And then when the candy bar was ready, it wasn't ready. The formula was wrong, right?
Sure. I wasn't really that around that part of, how it was going, but I do know that Quaker Oats was one of the sponsors, and they, I guess, thought they were going to do a real big tie-in. There eventually was a candy tie-in with Nestle's, who's still doing it. But I know that what you're saying is true.
And, I love one of the great stories from the film is when you in the cast appeared to see the chocolate room for the first time, Mel Stewart banned you from the set. So that reaction on film was the first time you were seeing the chocolate room?
That's true. I imagine people can see your backdrop, which is of that scene. And so that's true of most of the kids. I see three of us on my right, my camera right here. So there's me, Charlie, Augustus. We're all looking amazed at the things that we're seeing. Denise is looking around. She played Violet. But Julie actually had seen that room previously. That was not the director's intention. It was Harper Goff, who was the art director and was responsible for this amazing set that they built, invited her in days before to eat lunch and sit by the river, and they were constructing it, and so she had to actually act in that moment as if she was seeing it for the first time. The rest of us could just go with the newness of the experience.
And I love that because Richard Donner years later did The Goonies. He did the same thing. When the kids saw the pirate ship in that set, they were banned from the set. That they got their true reaction too. So I always thought of that scene. I think of Willy Wonka. So did you know how much of that foam was going to come out of the car when you were traveling? Because that's one of the highlights of the film.
I wanted it to come out. I liked it. It was actually fire extinguisher foam that they use at airports. So let's say, for instance, a plane can't get its landing gear down and it needs to land smoothly and safely without bursting into flame. they'd spray the air strip down with all of this foam. And as a result, it was kind of caustic and gave the adults rashes. I don't remember getting a rash. I was very cold, but I liked it. And we were wet, and they had to dry us out in between sets, in between takes.
I would only think in the 70s you could get away with that. Today, you could never put kids under fire extinguisher foam from the airlines, you know?
Right, that's true. It was a different time.
And did you click with the kids? I mean, were there little cliques that went on with each other, or who did you bond with the most?
Sure, I think the cliques were mostly them without me, because I was 11 and they were 13. I mean, you know, there were things that we all shared, of course, when we were working on set and that kind of thing. But, you know, there's a bit of 2 years wouldn't be that different if it was you and me, but 11 to 13, it's kind of
That's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Veruca had her song, I Want It Now. Was there any consideration for any of the other kids to have their own song, or she was the only one?
She was the only one. I had been on Broadway. I sang and danced with Ann Miller in Mame. Right after this, I sang with Hal Linden on Broadway in The Rothschilds. So I could do it. My parents were actually classical musicians. So my mom was a pianist and a composer, and my dad was a conductor and a clarinetist. And, you know, legit, like he played with the Boston Pops. And I wanted to sing. I wanted a song, but it wasn't my call.
Didn't happen. And tell me about your mom, Nora Denny, in the movie. How was your relationship with her?
Very nice lady. Actually, all the actors were excellent, nice people, great comedians, all, you know, Nora, and also Leonard Stone and Roy Kinnear. I'm looking at the poster behind you. Jack Albertson was a total sweetheart, and, you know, all funny, good people. Gave us a lot to work with.
And do you have a favorite memory of Gene Wilder?
Yeah, you know, just the whole shoot really was great. He was a very nice guy. We played against each other a lot. You know, the thing where he goes like this to my mouth, or where he's plucking the hair. Too many takes, as you see.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. So, you know, open your mouth a little wider when you speak. All these things that, you know, he was playing with me a lot. So it was good. All good stuff.
And in your lifetime, when did you realize this was such a cult hit, a beloved film? I mean, people coming up to you, or when was that moment that you said, this is something special?
Early 80s. And then certainly in 1997, 98, when we did our first Comic-Con, which was, we did one in Boston first, and then the second one was Chiller Theater in New Jersey.
And the 4K Blu-ray 50th anniversary DVD. I mean, I can't believe how great this film looks. The colors.
You saw, right?
Oh yeah, the colors are amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's really, it's every time they do it, you feel like it's as good as it can get. And then the technology improves. And I mean, one of the things they did is they showed me previous versions right next to it, a sort of an A/B, you know, so you could see, you know, that it's better. It's sharper. The colors are better. The music is better, and it's pretty awesome.
It's the ultimate version for fans. And, you know, I didn't see the original release. I was too young, but I did see the reissue that came out a few years after that. Never forget my sister and I going there and seeing Wonka bars in the snack bar and seeing it. And I always went crazy as a kid because it says musical numbers staged by Howard Jeffrey, and I'm Jeffrey Howard. So as a kid, I always thought they got my name backwards, but that was my, I know it's crazy like that. Paris, this has been a total thrill for the second time. Thank you for joining me today, and best of luck. And come visit us in Las Vegas. We'd love to have you. You're in LA, I understand.
I'm in LA. It's not that far away.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, and good luck with the DVD. Take care.
Thank you. Bye now.